So I want you to keep in mind that this video is not conspiracy theory. It is based on the overwhelming amount of facts. There is an overwhelming amount of facts that the government is behind these shootings. Okay, no conspiracy theory, no aliens. Okay, no Area 51, just the facts. Okay, fact number one: the Air Force, okay, has wanted neural weapons that overwhelm the mind and wanted to secure more funding, okay, for quite some time. Fact, they're not the only branch of the military that wants neural weapons, okay? Another fact, and that's their stated argument, mind you. People have sort of figured out how to read the mind, how to read the brain, okay, to see what you're thinking, cause images to appear on a computer screen, okay, say this person's thinking this. So they know how to read the mind. And it's not very hard to come up with materials and technology that allows one to read the mind remotely. Okay. Another fact, they want to be able to hack the mind and the brain as part of their stated arguments. So they want to overwhelm the enemy mind, they want to hack the enemy mind, and they can read the mind already. All right, that's what we know as what they've said to society. Now, people used to say that the government stays 20 years ahead of the public in terms of technology. So if we apply that scale, okay, then they can read the mind remotely already. They can overwhelm the brain already, okay? They can put thoughts in your head already. There was several experiments that were done in the past that, were released to the public where inmates claimed that they could put thoughts in their head already, okay? There's Dr. Delgado and his experiments, I believe, with a bull, okay, where they were trying to come up with ways to control the behavior. This is nothing new. We're operating conditioning, B.F. Skinner, Pavlov's dog, okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is something they've been trying to do for a long time, and they've had technology in recent years, technological breakthroughs that help them do it. So that's one part of it. Another part of it is it's a fact that there are military contractors and government groups and Satanists that have been in this society in America, in the West, for a long, long time. Certainly they proliferated and they spread around the world. Okay, people like the Ku Klux Klan, the Freemasons. Now, Freemasons is an interesting group of people. It's basically a bunch of old people. When I look at my research, they kind of keep a secret and do little kind of fraternity hazing games to harass people. Okay, and then some of them are more psychotic and sick than others. Okay, and they go the distance to do evil. In fact, Nathan Bedford Forrest, who started the Ku Klux Klan, was a Freemason. Okay, William Joseph Simmons almost certainly was a Freemason, though I have not come across that information. I did come across the fact that he was in over 13 fraternities. So why magically would he miss the Masons? He probably didn't. That probably was one of them. Okay, so it's the Masons and other groups who have memberships in Freemasons that basically started the Klan, right? The first and second Klan, and the third Klan only has like 8,000 to 10,000 members. The second Klan has as many as 6 million members. And of course, these people kept their white supremacist sentiment as they went into other fraternities and other life pursuits. Okay, so, and that wasn't that long ago, right? There's people who are alive today who were in the second Klan, okay? And there's people who are alive today, obviously, whose parents were in the second Klan, okay? That wasn't that long ago, right? Second Klan didn't end until like 1945, okay? So if you're born in 1942, you're only 80 years old, and we can go on and on about the implications of this and how it implicates America as an extremely, extremely racist society. Okay, being in the Klan is considered by most people as like the pinnacle of racism. And these are the children of the Klan, and at times these are the members of the second Klan. And the third Klan that's around still today has 8,000 to 10,000 members. That might not sound like a lot, but really put that into, perspective. 8 to 10,000. Imagine you have 8 to 10,000 people trying to convince people to be racist and they're trying to influence politics. It's still quite a few people. Okay. And unlike gangs, their emphasis is on politics, and they are police officers and what have you, right? They're all over the place. Okay, well, it's pretty straightforward that there's a bunch of hate groups, hundreds of hate groups and hundreds of secret societies that are registered, and who knows how many that aren't registered, okay, in America. And why do they register in the first place, right? Why doesn't the government fear them infiltrating the government? Why do they fear subversion? Because the government is made up of these secret societies, and they're kind of like corporate partnerships where they collaborate and influence the government. No other way it could be. I'm sure we can all agree this is just the facts here. The facts, okay? Also, fact, there's 22 witnesses, over 22 witnesses on record on my various channels, over 22 witnesses, okay? And I've taken measures to try to secure their testimony in other ways that I'm not going to explore, okay? To the organized harassment campaign against me, okay? 22 witnesses, so it's safe to say that is a fact. That's an established fact that they're harassing me, okay? That they're fuming me, okay? And I have pictures of them, with the bright high beam harassment. I have video footage. They might edit the footage. They've been editing a lot of videos, but I still have the pictures and I still have other evidence as well. So it's established that there's organized psychological campaigns going on, and at times they lead people to murder. So we look at Myron May and Aaron Alexis, who claim to be victims of these psychological operations, while the government claimed that they weren't going on by not conceding the possibility for nothing else or flat out denying. Okay, so they said these people were mentally ill, and they went on the rampage to get even. Okay, and when I called the police to report the harassment, they started acting like I was ill. So they basically, and Larry Richardson in Santa Cruz Police Department, which is only like 45 minutes away or so, okay, he said that gang stalking was real. He said, yes, this is the kind of group harassment they've been seeing, and they've recently elevated themselves using technology. Okay, so it's safe to say that the Tulsa, Oklahoma shooting was the result of a psychological operation. This is not just a theory. It's not a wow, that could be. This is almost certain that that's the case. I would be shocked if it wasn't, especially when you see the frequencies and the types of weapons they use. The AR-15 is, and long guns like that they tend to use, they're like the civilian versions of military weapons. Okay, it's modeled after, some people say the M16 and so on and so forth. Okay, so what is what does the evidence suggest, right? Well, we've seen psychiatrists like Dr. Colin Ross say that there's, do some research and say that the military mind control experiments, okay, are about, basically trying to control people's mind, trying to get them to do things they wouldn't otherwise do. There's been claims that they're trying to get them to take on an alter ego, and we see that in society. Why are so many people, openly worshiping the devil and witchcraft? And it's out there. It's admitted by their allies like Lacey Green. And, lots of people who are very popular admit that that's what's going on. There's lots of evidence. Okay, they see themselves as a witch. That's a form of an alter ego. If you're like, hey, I'm Gandalf the Grey, you know what I'm saying, and you get carried away in a habitual manner, you're developing an alter ego, right? It's like a radio personality, except for, it takes on more toxic elements, right? You start actually believing to some degree, right? There's various levels of consciousness, to some degree, that you are that, okay? Now, in this case, it's very interesting, right? We see the term that they use. They gave me this term, not me. Gang stalking, right? Gang stalking, okay? And at times I start yelling in my video because they're fuming. So what can they do, right? They can convince me. They can piss me off to cause me to yell, okay? And they edit my videos. What can't they do? They can't convince me that I'm a pink donkey or something. I know who I am, right? I know what I am. I am that I am. I am who I am. I am what I am, okay? They can put fumes in the food to make me more suggestible. What can't they do is confuse me with my martial art challenge, okay? I beat 4 challengers, actually 5, okay? Other people conceded I'm the best. People in the military, and their allies have said why they don't believe they can beat me. Okay, it is open and shut. Okay, Kuro Obi black belt, right? That wordplay. You know, the fact that Obi is an Igbo word and an Asian word, and there's Igbos that look kind of like black Asians or something. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. So they can confuse me about that. Okay, say I'm going to the store right now. Say I'm going to get some strawberries. Okay, you know, they might be able to convince me one time not to get strawberries and get peaches. You know, say what the fuck I buy these peaches for, and I'm gonna go back and get strawberries. I'm gonna get strawberries this time. So they cannot, over a long period of time, confuse me about decisions. You know what I'm saying? About key decisions that I'm determined to do. Okay, at this point. So the evidence is 100% sure that I actually am the top martial artist, and that I actually am the anointed of God, right? The anointed, not in a fairy tale manner, not in a cartoon manner, not in a mainstream propaganda manner. The anointed like a martial art king. We see Psalm 80, Psalm 89, Psalm 24, Psalm 18, Psalm 19, Revelation 19, and there's an overwhelming amount of evidence, Isaiah 42:13, that says that the idea of Christ is the idea of a warrior king. Even Wikipedia, and they get a lot of facts right, mind you. Okay, and they got this right. It said Saul was supposed to face Goliath himself, and that instead he tried to give David his armor. David refused and faced Goliath with a sling and a certain amount of smooth stones. Okay, and he said, "This day I will cut off your head." Okay, you know, and feed your flesh to the birds and whatnot, and that the whole world would know that there's a God in Israel. Okay, they would know because of single martial combat. Again, they would know because of single combat. And he used Goliath's own sword to cut off his head. Okay, after he struck him with the sling and killed him. You know, and the stone was said to sink into his head, right? And this is symbolic, right? You're cutting off his head. You're causing him to go crazy is one thing that it symbolizes, whether that event took place or not. Okay, and it's to cause him to go crazy in what way? Okay, in the way that they're too afraid to do the right thing. So if they poisoned somebody, for example, like if they drove me crazy, I would win because I walked with God every step of the way. Okay, so he cut him off and made it so that he could never man up, okay, and serve God, and therefore he was done. So when the world, after betraying me all these years, okay, never corrects their mistake, they've been struck down. That's why God goes before me. He made the principles. He made the terms of engagement. God made these things, not the devil. In the Bible, the devil did not make these things. God made the heaven and the earth. And he made the rules of engagement and the terms of the engagement, and the devil loses. Okay? So the Satanists who cite the Bible are citing that they lose and that you're a dumbass to follow them. So why are people such sniveling worms that they choose to be Satanists anyway? Because they're fucking stupid. Okay? I'm the son of 2 doctors, one a brain surgeon. I'm the top martial artist ever. Okay, my dad's brothers, one of them was a valedictorian at Santa Clara University. Okay, you know, he also went to Berkeley, became a lawyer. The other one is a doctor. Okay, as well. So yes, my genes are superior, but it's more than that. It's God having chosen, okay, my line. My dad came here as a refugee, penniless, you know, homeless, and worked his way up. Okay, so that is much different than being some kind of privileged person in a system for you, by you, speaking English as a first language. My dad spoke English as like a third or fourth language. Now, he's not the only refugee who's done something like that, but he's from the Royal African Falcon top martial arts line, which goes beyond being some nerd from another country, with all due respect, if any is due. So we look at the facts here. The facts make it crystal clear that I'm the King of Kings. Okay, and the falcon, right? Mockingbird, right? Mockingjay, Hunger Games. The Igbos were starving during the Nigerian Civil War, and it was famous during the time. Okay, and lots of them died of starvation. Okay, and things that are related to that. Okay, so these people are sick, and they're like, oh, the Hunger Games, right? So they put it in the titles, right? Romeo must die. Okay, fact. Okay, God is love. Okay, Jesus is superimposed on the idea of a king. Read Psalm 45. It talks about he's the most excellent of men and women must submit to him. Okay, but they leave that out of the New Testament in popular culture because it's a rape called society. Fact, separates is ETA, rapes backwards. Together to get her. Intimidate, in time I date. Prepare, pre-rape, pirate, rape it, scrambled, and on and on and on. There's all kinds of this wordplay out there. Race, rape, rare, okay? Rate.